This is July 30th at 11:09, 2024. These are my pages. Civil rights pages, and in my art and music and modeling pages. Radio, magazine, QT magazine. There's that. TQQT. I also do lots of poetry here. This is my radio. It's advertising my YouTube radio station and my modeling and poetry. I have online novels of poetry. This is my songstress page. Tons of people have tried to pretend to be me because the lawless team gained me from terrorizing me, because my military cousin is related to Boogie, a hairstylist, Boogie Langerston, and his godfather is Russell Simmons of the P. Diddy Gate, Pedogate scandals. That's Boogie. He's a celebrity hairstylist. And that's his godfather, billionaire mogul, Russell Simmons. They blood sacrificed many of my relatives, including my cousin Michelle Morley. She was an artist. This is her page. Her sister is my cousin Natasha Taylor Morley. Her ex was Boogie, and Natasha is friends of Diane Rivas, who's related to LGBTQ Robert Rivas, who I sued. He was the boss of a racist DACA government employee that has a cop boyfriend and has called me nigger lover, and put a hippo, and put an unconstitutional 5-year civil restraining order, 2020 CV 1043, and a domestic violence cleats, stating that that I slandered her name and used a false 2017 police report, denying child abuses, DUI, disorderly, and a drug felon family, and said that I slandered her name and she tries to cover my rapists that are not on her order. My incest child fingers rapist older sister Gina Pickett Prince, reported at Megan's Law, and my black rapist Pierre Warner of 2005. They commit subsidy fraud and blacklist me from housing that I qualify for. I'm on disability, PTSD, for being a victim of crime, survivor of rape, incest rape, domestic violence from my ex-retired raider, Lester Hayes, who's friends of the family of my molester, felon child rapist, Ron Herrera, on Davis, California, Megan's Law, whose family is Jennifer Herrera, that raped teenage boy Marvin in 2012, who's related to former MLB rapper MC Hammer, and drug pedos Melanie Monica Coker, that have benefited from a game. They're all related to cops: Zuniga, Figueroa, Garcia, Hernandez, and KCRA 3 Leticia Ordez. Is married to DOJ Baeza. We grew up with their family, the Laras. His relative, David Lara, is on Sacramento Megan's Law. They cover all of my perpetrators and rapists and this racist DACA government employee that is their friend, and have tortured me. They've gaslighted my lawsuits, 321 CV 00994, and in my other lawsuit that they state has a statutory constitutional allegation that they denied my rights, I guess suggesting statutory of limitations, but trying to manipulate the fact that I've told on a bunch of rapists and tried to debunk their crimes. So Michelle, my cousin Michelle, partied with Blondie and David Bowie. She had a band many years ago. She was an artist, and they have tried to use me and my story, and Blondie hooks up with other demonic bastards of the game, like this guy right here, Chris Stein, pretending to be religious and do-gooders and all of that type of stuff. They partied with heroin with my Aunt Gail, whom also was blood sacrificed from their cults. That Chris Stein tried to block my cousin Michelle's page that had Blondie on there, Blondie and David Bowie that she had partied with. So here he is right here blocking her photo. I have it referenced on another documentary that I've posted online. Any case, so I do guitar, and I'm a musician like Michelle, a musician, artist, model, and oh, there she is finally. There's Blondie with Michelle and David Bowie. Here she is with David Bowie. Lyrical Lemonade, their festivals got their name from copying me lyrics as MC. Also, my abusive ex is a retired NFL Raider, Lester Hayes. I think I mentioned that. He's on my lawsuits as well, and I have documentaries on him on Lyricsess.1. Google has a policy now of violating protected free speech, so but Lyricsess.1, I've got my YouTube and DA documentaries on that page, as well as an assortment of poetry and music renditions, and I do symphonies and jazz ensembles on my songstress page. Songstress.Tatiana Grace. They've used me for their lawless team game. They've enslaved me. They've promoted their cult voodoo purge with target emojis to normalize killing people from voodoo, from their greedy asshole game of torturing me for nearly 20 years. I'm a survivor of police brutality for risking my life for my black ex, 2012 felon, Britton James, in on July 23rd, 2007. They blacklisted me ever since. Britain is connected to the Kopp Zuniga and Campbell Miller Blades families, who I told on they're related to rapist Ron Herrera. They all commit subsidy fraud and torment me. This is years after I broke up with him, and for 20 years I've been blacklisted and terrorized. Castro, Campbell Miller Blades, Padilla, Figueroa's, Zuniga's, Stella raping Sarah Clark, connected to LGBTQ firefighter Nicole Herrera, who's my relative, whose mother is Gina, my incest child fingers rapist, and Nicole's LGBTQ tickling nanny aunt is Elaine. They are, they are responsible for Nicole being LGBTQ, and her racist Mexican gangbang family molested Nicole when she was a child, sex abused Nicole, and Nicole molested her cousins before flinging out of the closet. It's been a long road. These are obvious family issues that I should have been able to be resolved or not privately, but because they made the game from torturing me, Nicole's gay and straight friends have harassed me and chased after my music, and a slew of the Hernandez, Baeza, and the racist DACA government employees, assorted Mexican friends, and the BLM community connected to Rick Ross, who has a Davis relative, and a bunch of other riffraff that are connected to East Coast rappers. And my ex, I dated for 4 years, James McClendon, who's senior, his father, worked with the Funk Brothers. He's got a slew of family, E40, tons of family that are in the music industry. They have participated in hate crimes against me and so forth. I got him on my messenger, so I have tons of threads. And this is him, and they are entire idiots. And obvious LGBTQs of the P. Diddy Gate. He's got friends that are connected to attorney Johnny Griffin that has refused to help me, and Amanda Gorman related to attorney Ben Crump, and has Sacramento Cop family. Gorman was allowed to recite poetry and is a speaker, a civil rights speaker, and recited poetry at the NFL and local Butterscotch to be harassing to me. I'm a poet, singer, songwriter, musician, model, all of that, and she's got no lane because she's got cop family and relatives that work at the Capitol. James is pissed off at me because he pretends to be a Palestinian, and meanwhile I'm like, oh good, well then the BLM Farrakhan frauds can fake Jesus themselves all the way to Palestine, where those people have been getting blown up, so they can take those imposters out of there and save their lives and take the hit for them, since they're imposing upon their land. I'm sorry, where's Africa? Right, not in the continent of Asia, where the Middle East is. Okay. Well, now that we have that settled. While they promote cultism against me, debunking my lawsuits, where they have made conspiracies against me and deny all of my lawsuits as delusional, with corrupt judges that deny all of my lawsuits as delusional. I sang the national anthem flawlessly at the Giants many years ago. I'm a lawful whistleblower. And this government employee and Nicole have a letter to each other where they say that they don't know what I'm talking about on social media. That letter is in Nicole, in this DACA government employee's civil restraining order, where she says that they feel so bad for me and that I'm mental. Meanwhile, they have suggested that I am their Baphomet, transgender god of the Luciferians connected to James McClendon's BLM fam and the celebrities. So period is a part of that code, because obviously I am not LGBTQ and I am a woman, and they do their arrow there because they are cult members that promote the Cupid's arrow, like Target emojis that promote a blood purge cult society. Meanwhile, because I dated James for 4 years, period, and I'm lawful, period, and a victim of crime survivor, period. And nobody will petition my lawsuits that they call delusional 213 CV 2653 and 215 CV 01113 against the United States and celebrities and my county. Meanwhile, promoting segregation and racism from their cults to justify respirations while enslaving me for years, and ignoring the fact that Irish were the first slaves of the United States, enslaved from the indigenous Vikings that were here in AD. Could we please understand why James has such a fixation with hot dogs and worms? I don't know nothing about that. While it is true that Bill Gates has made sure that our food is poisoned and filled with all sorts of toxins, bacteria, and worms, there's also, the conspiracies that totalitarian laws that have allowed Iran to collaborate with the United States and Israel to bomb Palestine, because they're the weakest link, and they're trying to get rid of as many people as possible to add to their agenda of a totalitarian war. So while they push free speech for other people to torture me and chase after my talents and make conspiracies and gaslight, they try to block me. These are a bunch of my lawsuits listed on Google. So it says right here, where the Ninth Circuit declared that I'm not a vexatious litigant, which is what they were trying to state, an alleging constitutional and statutory violations, alleging that I was past my statutory limits to sue, and trying to use code to debunk me being a whistleblower against rapists and being a victim of crime survivor of rape crimes. is the case right here where they said that the Ninth Circuit that denied me as vexatious and delusional, that they had denied me a due processing right, and that they were supposed to stop labeling me as vexatious and delusional. It's posted right here on my Lyricist.one. It was a case in 2021 where I was able to defend myself. See right there, March 2021. Judge Brennan and the Ninth Circuit demanded that they were denying me a due process right and labeling me as vexatious illegally. And so that was really important because it allowed me to continue to litigate my lawsuit, my civil rights lawsuit that I filed against them, against the United States, Kamala Harris, the Capitol, racist DACA government employee, the United States, Sacramento, Davis, Yolo County, San Francisco, just 16 governments. They all had attorneys. The United States, my county, that includes my county. That will include Judge Walk and the DA's collaboration to violate my equal protected rights, where they have stated that they are protected immunity, as they have denied Trump protected immunity. Yet Judge Chen was the San Francisco judge that stated that they were protected immunity to be corrupt and malicious to the point of making grave decisions on people's lives. They are not protected immunity, and have violated my civil rights to safety, privacy, peace, justice, due process. They live rent-free in my head. They made their conspiracies, their psychological warfare, Jedi mind tricks, terrorizing me. They have a dude in a caboose that's a fusion military cop on F Street that promotes the game and violating my civil liberties to extreme levels, that I've allowed these cops and their families to commit subsidy fraud and blacklist me, to being rapists and drug pedos, gangbangers, murderers, thieves, vandals, frauds, and violate every civil liberty I have. They crack off their fireworks in the parking lot with the Padillas that are related to Alex Padilla government, and because apparently they're protesting how the West was won in a Mexican takeover, and violating my civil liberties to extreme levels. Nobody does anything about it because many of them are related to cops, and cover the corruption, and terrorizing me for years and spreading lies about me. I wanted to try to get in as close as I could so that people could see the details of these. But they can go to Lyricist.one and view this. They can also view my documentaries on the legal proceedings that have quite a many detail in them as to their corruption. The DA, they put a contempt of court against me in 2021 after my aunt was blood cult sacrificed. She died of complications of COVID, but it was from their cults. She had a cop boyfriend on the DL. He was a Trump supporter, and my Aunt B was his mistress, and all of a sudden she winds up dead. So now it's 30 members approximately of my family and friends that have passed, and SNL skits have mocked their cults killing my family, and their perjury and arrows and all of that stuff. Any case, so the DA put a contempt of court against me in 2021 after this racist DACA government employee's daughter got in a car accident that killed somebody because they were all under the influence of narcotics in 2021. And this government employee has adult children that are on her civil restraining order, and they don't know me. And she put a domestic violence cleats on me for my free speech, and I've never had anything to do with them. So they harass me, and they put the contempt against me because I countered the civil restraining order 2020 CV 1157 is my counter, where they denied my due process right. I appealed the case. They denied to even acknowledge that. And in the federal court, they stated that that the civil restraining order wasn't even a legitimate order if I wasn't there at the hearing, which I was not, in September 3rd of 2020, when she extended a temporary civil restraining order of 2 weeks to 5 years for my free speech. And I was not at that hearing. And I sent them a motion to get it dropped because I had reported her to the Capitol, which is why she put the civil restraining order against me. I reported her and said that she had been harassing me in my community, at my bank, the local golf course, terrorizing me everywhere in my community, spying on me with broadband, an assortment of spies in my community that violate my civil liberties on extreme levels, and her media friends that spy on me and talk shit about me. They hack my phone, they hack my accounts, and from my Amazon accounts to their Castro friends that are related to the Figueroa cops and the Hernandez, to terrorizing me with the Padillas and having all access to my bank accounts and my Amazon accounts, to my mail and my emails, and just entirely having no right to violate my civil liberties to that extent or at all. And I've never had a felony. I've never had a 5150. I've never been jailed. I have disability for being a survivor of rape, incest, rape, domestic violence from Lester Hayes and Davis police brutality in 2007, for risking my life for Britton James, my black ex-boyfriend who's 51, and he is connected to the Miller Zunigas, cop Zunigas, that are related to the rapist Ronnie family and Ron Herrera family, that are friends of Lester Hayes. And trying to get the document that, anyways, that states that Judge Chen said that they were protected immunity to be corrupt and malicious to the point of killing people. They are not protected immunity. Judge Kaczynski and Pence of the Bay Area were fired judges, and yeah. So anyways, I've never had a remand. The court has suggested that in 2018, and then the Ninth Circuit, for that same case, said for them to stop labeling me as vexatious in 2021. That was that reference that I just posted. And then this past year, where the DA assigned me to Northern Valley Indian Healthcare, that is sponsored from the corrupt media that are related to rapist Ronnie's family and Good Day Sacramento that have a slew of cop family that have harassed me forever in my community. And they hired a Mercedes Durgan, who is related to this racist DACA government employee, where they wanted me to get a therapy for my free speech with Heather Stewart. And I documented all the calls. I've posted some of them where she verifies that I'm lawful and a victim of crime survivor and have the right to my free speech without punishment. I've posted that on Freedom Wars, my Instagram page. And then they hired Mercedes Durgan, related to racist DACA government employee. That totally violates my HIPAA rights. They spread lies about me, and that violates the order, an order that needs to be dropped because it's not even legal. I was not there at the hearing. I did not sign anything. You're not allowed to put a civil restraining order with the domestic violence cleats on an alleged slander when I prove that this racist DACA government employee has a 1999 disorderly under her DUI under her maiden name and a disorderly under her married divorced name, and has a drug felon family of Steve and Eric Durgan Sr., and 30 and 40-year-old Vanessa and Austin Markle that are in their 30s and 40s, and their cocaine mother, Norma, whose husband is a pilot, and this DACA government employee said years ago that he was a pedo because he looked like Elton John. And then their drug brother, Vincent Fernandez Jr., whose senior is their father that raped Norma. Now, if I were to try to find their father and ask if I could cover him for raping Norma, I would be in a lot of trouble. But it's okay for them to do that and violate my civil liberties. So here is the other document right here that states that Judge Chen said that they're allowed to be corrupt and malicious to the point of making grave decisions on people's lives and be protected immunity. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is not protected immunity. They fly the flag backwards now, no doubt. They reference a slew of celebrities, a part of Pedogate, which they call Pizzagate, so apparently nobody's allowed to have pizza in any town anywhere. That's amazing. This is Elaine. This is Nicole, Elaine, and Gina. Or Gina and Elaine.